So we're back for part 2, and we've done a little bit of grinding, and we've now got the mats to finish the first of the Empower Spirit Anchor parts. It is actually the part 2, the New Horizon parts, that gives us the recipe to be able to do the boss fight and move on. So those mats are a little bit harder to get. You can see we need a couple of different filaments, we need some deepling bones, some more artefacts and some more dormant spirits unlocked. So there's a fair bit to get on with to get those unlocked. That'll unlock our recipe to make the offering, and then we can make the offering and do the boss fight. This is a really good example of how to find dormant spirits. There's the beautiful glowy icon that shows you there's one on this island. Some of this video is not following straight on because I had to grind in between, which was boring and you wouldn't want to have seen it all. Finding the spirits, finding the mana shards and the stone artifacts all took a lot of grinding and time, which in a way is nice because it makes the actual demo a little bit longer. But I'm showing you the highlights of what we did. Now on this particular part, when we climb up this one to get the dormant spirit, there are loads of these annoying little jumps which you can make on your character, but you could also easily fall through. So rather than spending a lot of time falling on jumps, which I had done when I actually tried out this game, I just built bridges. It was easier and it meant that I could get back up here if there was something that would respawn nice and easily. But if you don't want to waste the materials and you want to jump, feel free. Now this is on the way to another dormant spirit. We saw the little icon down at the bottom. And we have to get a number of those dormant spirits to be able to unlock the next empowering part to get the offering. As you can see, lots of falling, even when I put the bits up so I don't fall. So there's our dormant spirit, another green one. Luckily you will find that where you need to build there usually is a lot of spare wood around, enough just to make a couple of steps. Stop for a second and appreciate the beautiful graphics in this game. And there are tons of islands to explore in the demo that I didn't explore. There's a lot more out there than I actually did. you'll find a lot more mana shards, a lot more pottery, and a lot more stone artifacts, so it is worth exploring if you've got the time to do it. We also built the little skimmer, makes life so much easier. That was done off camera. Easy to move about, faster to get everywhere, especially when you need to travel between the islands. Highly recommend making that as soon as you possibly can. Once you've got it, it doesn't break, and even if you fall in the water underwater or something, you can just press C and you'll pop right back up on your skimmer. We were primarily going to go and investigate what the long purple line in the sky was there, but decided not to because there are quite a few mobs around. I suspect it's to one of those purple treasure chests or something else of interest, but we never actually got, in our version of the demo, to actually get to one of those and explore what they were. Once you get the skimmer, a load of islands open up to you, and it's a lot easier to get decent mats. And this is salt, you'll need that for cooking. Always good to pick it up if you see it. And that's where we are on the map. Now this area I forgot to come back and explore. I think here there is something underwater, but when I first went past I thought these glowy things could be like mobs, so I avoided them. But I've got a feeling, it says sunken ruins, there is something down there, but I didn't get to explore it, but it's something for you guys to explore later on. Now we're heading back to the Isle of the Ancients, and this is where we get loads of those stone artifacts. They just respawn, and we need a lot of those for unlocking the second part of that spirit altar. And they just respawn very, very quickly. There's also a decent amount of mana shards on this island as well, and you can't accidentally start the boss fight. You have to have the offering to be able to start it, so it's all quite nicely controlled, but there are a few random mobs scattered around the islands around here you have to watch out for, like here. Now this island became a bit of a pain, really. What you can't probably see from that is there are not just normal mobs, but at least 2 bosses on the island. So I had to come back there about 3 times before I got past them. there was a purple chest inside one of the huts, so it is worth going, but you do have to watch out for the mobs there, make sure you can take them. But I fast forwarded to actually being back on the ancient island, which is literally just behind those mobs, and you can see I'm just running around picking up the mana shards and the stone artifacts that actually spawn inside the boss cave, which is this cave. There's usually about 3 or 4 of each sort, and they also spawn outside on the island as well. Ancient fragments, I keep calling them stone artifacts, but they're ancient fragments. This cave is where the boss fight will take place later on, and you'll probably get a glimpse of him just sitting there dormant. He won't actually wake up unless you have the food offering. And that's showing you the path we take. There are all these little islands in a row, and if you've got the skimmer, you can actually do it without the skimmer. You can run along them and just go in the water for the few bits you need to. But if you've got the skimmer, it's a lot quicker. They'll get you home a lot quicker. I think in total I came out to this island about 3 times to gather artifacts and mana shards to get all the mats. This is the location of Ironite ore, and you will need that to make better arrows and things, so it's worth picking it up if you've got the bag space. I didn't have the bag space, as you can see right now, which is why I didn't farm it. But if you want a location for Ironite ore, on this island is the place to be. And this is the boss island, right at the end of that chain of islands there. Ancient's Rest, it's called. So as soon as you've got the skimmer, get out here and be getting mats. Now the reason we're edging around this island is because there's a dormant located on one of these little islands. Also a lot of mobs. Trying to find the best place on these 3 islands to get up without a ton of mobs hitting us as soon as we launch on the island, so we can grab this dormant spirit here. Big ones that are darker in colour are a little bit more difficult to kill, but you can run away from them quite easily and run in the water and then go back, and my experience was their health hadn't regenerated, but I went back quite quickly. When you're working with the first real level weapons and arrows, it can be a bit tricky. You have to think about taking these mobs if there are a number on the island coming at you. Luckily he gets stuck here, so it is easier to take him out. we're still using the very basic arrow here, the stone arrow. There's our spirit. By this point, the bags are absolutely full, and I think we've got about 2 different dormant spirits ready to wake up on us as well. When you're out on the skimmer board, it can be a little bit disorientating unless you're constantly looking at the map of where you are. What I tend to do is just look for that stone bridge once I get into all the little islands, and that pretty much shows me where to go. Oh, and this big circle area to the side of me, it's got a hole in it. It looks like there's something in there. When I checked it out, there was absolutely nothing in there. I don't know whether things spawn randomly on this game, so you know, it might be worth having a look, but for me there was absolutely nothing in there. It just looked very intriguing. We still need some more dormant spirits, and we still need some more bits and pieces, some deepling bones and different things. Putting our mana shards in, we need loads of those strands. Weighed down with all the stuff we need to make this. The deepling bones are found off the lizard type creatures, lizard type mobs. Hardened shells are found off the crabs. So we're awakening one of our spirits there, and all we need now is another 1 or 2 more dormants. We need 2 more dormants. Now we've actually got 2 in our bags, we're waking these up. This takes a little bit of time, it's not instant. I think it's about 5 minutes it takes to wake them up. while we were waiting on waking those up, we actually made some better quality food as well. So we've woken up the fire artisan and the green one we had first of all. We should be able to unlock this recipe now. There we go, all 5 bits, we've unlocked it. Now, when I was looking how to make the offering, I knew that unlocking this part gave us the recipe, but it wasn't clear where you make the recipe. I looked online, I looked everywhere I could think, couldn't find where I actually made the recipe once I unlocked it by unlocking that New Horizons part there. You actually unlock it back at your workbench. So when you go back to your workbench after unlocking New Horizons, you should find that there is an offering available for you to make, and that's a whole new set of ingredients. But what that does is unlock the boss. Now the kiln, you can make ironite bars, which are really good for different things. You'll need a new workbench to build the ironite things, which comes within progress of the game, the demo and things. So we're back on a new island looking for mats. We also have to, for the actual offering recipe, we need these, they look like pottery parts. I can't remember the name, and they are hidden in vases on the islands. If you're lucky enough to find one before you get to this stage, brilliant. But there's not just one lot of them, there's several different lots in different places. I was looking on this island, and I believe in that cave we were just at there was a dormant spirit, and I forgot to actually record it. I wanted to have a look on top of these stones here. There's like an almost bridge across. Building them the stairs up became quite a pain in the bum. But eventually we do get up there and we're able to explore what's up on top. Realisation I've built the stairs in the wrong place, and I really needed to find a better spot to build them. This is a different cave here, and a purple treasure chest. Now we're starting to see the new type of arrow. There are hardened arrows, ironite arrows. Hardened arrows are made, or are they shell arrows? Shell arrows, I believe. There's some ironite ore as well there. So it starts with stone arrows, then it's hardened arrows with shells from the crabs, and then it's ironite arrows. Where I decide that I'm going to build my stairs upwards, because I'm still determined to find out what's on the top of these stones. I cannot believe they would not put something on top of this area of stones here. I thought, quicker than building steps, I'll just build a ladder, but it did not work out. This is my first time building a ladder, and every time I went up it, I just fell back down it. I don't know if that's a bug or it's just designed for going down, but it didn't work, so. Steps it was. And if you can hear snoring in the background, it's the dog, it's not me. believe I build these stairs up and then probably fall off them when I get to the top. They're very uneven, these rocks up here, so it's quite easy to end up falling into the water. There we go. So word of warning when you're exploring. So this time I decided to go to the little island that had the question mark on. Excuse me, sorry. That was basically the next island along from the one where I kept falling. And I found this little water dormant spirit there. So we grabbed that one. But when I had a look at the rest of the island, there were loads of ruins on the other side of the island. And I thought there has to be something up there because they've made this really big deal about all the ruins up there. The problem with the ruins is they're all really high up. So I decided that I would build up there and have another look. The previous island I didn't have much success with. Either way I built on it, I just kept falling into the water. You might have a lot more success. So I thought about it a couple of times. I think I was going to give up because of the previous exploration, falling in the water all the time. But I decided to have a go and see what was up there because I can't think they would put all these ruins in for absolutely nothing. And we're still looking for all those fragments and pieces of pottery and stuff, so where better to hide them than in some ruins. Now we've got some wood back to the steps. Purple chest. These were tricky to build around these ruins because they were very high and very steep, and you had to have enough room to build the steps back to get up there. There always seems to be a convenient tree when you run out of wood though, strategically placed. I was starting to doubt myself here that when I looked around at the other ruins, you know, possibly the goal would have been over the other side. So I was starting to think, what if I've built on the wrong side? But we started to find little things as we climbed up. Little mana shards, treasure chests. This was starting to get really steep here, so I kept trying to find the best place to build. Second guessing myself that I'd chosen the wrong side to go up. There is something up this side, but as I get nearer I realise it's just a lore chest. Oh my god, after all that. So disappointing at this point. I was just ready to give up. And looking back, I realised that over the other side is the absolute highest point, so it's going to be up that really steep incline that's really hard to build up, or on one of the 2 points. And I don't know if you just saw it in that shot, but on the highest point there is another chest or something up on the highest one, the one nearer the back, and that's why I decided to carry on. And I probably wouldn't have seen it had I not come all the way over to this side. going to take a fair bit of wood to get up there. If you can see up in front of us, it's hard to see because I didn't zoom in on it. Where the tree is, right to the side, there is what looks like a treasure chest up the top. And just so I'm clear, this is the island that had the dormant spirit on, the water spirit. This is not the island that kept falling off, but they are very near to each other. Finally made it up here. Now when we got up here, this was something we hadn't seen before. It wasn't a chest, it was a pottery urn, and inside there was these fragments, and they are what we need to make the offering recipe, so it was worth it when we got up here. But until that point, it could have been a treasure chest, which is what we thought it was, like a purple treasure chest. So it was worth all that effort just to get those rare fragments. So now we've got those fragments, it's time to head back home and make the offering. But we're still missing a couple of things. And as I was going back home, I finally spotted the seaweed. Now, it's difficult to spot. First of all, I was targeting these long bits here. But then I realised as I swam a bit further along, there were actually darker strains of seaweed in amongst the green strains. So you're looking for patches of long seaweed that have some darker seaweed in between. And you just swim down and grab it. But you can only grab, there we go. They're slightly different texture, like more detailed, and they're usually a bit darker. You need at least, I think it's 30 or 40 for the boat, to build the boat. You need some for the offering, and you can also make a really good food out of it, which will help in the boss fight. So I ended up staying here and gathering 70 or 80 seaweed while I found them. You have to come up for air regularly or you will drown, but you can grab a couple of handfuls each time, and it really is worth gathering. And that was just in the sea. It wasn't too deep. You can see this area. I can easily get back up if I want to. And you do have to be aware of the fish. There's one in the background there. Now the only way you can attack a fish in the water is with the harpoon. I had made one at this point, but you need to have one on you if you're going seaweed gathering, really. Especially if you're going deeper. We came across a treasure chest as well. So that was quite handy. Didn't think maybe in the ocean, but I hadn't really explored the ocean a lot, so this was really good. I stayed here for quite a while, just gathering seaweed, so I could make the boat and finish off the offering and make some decent food. It respawns really quickly as well. And if you've got the skimmer, at any time a fish comes along, you can just hop back on the skimmer and zoom off. Spotted a treasure chest, always worth going for, especially a purple one, slightly better loot usually. Now we just picked up healing potions. This has actually been the only part in the game I've come across healing potions. I've not found them anywhere, I've not found any way to make them yet. So I decided to head back home. We've got all our stuff. First thing was to make the boat. Unfortunately the boat became a huge disappointment, but we'll go into that in a bit. Now back at the spirit anchor, I was still looking for where I made the offering. I hadn't figured out yet that you make it on the workbench. It didn't seem to add up in my head that that's where you would make it if you unlocked the offering there. Although I had all the ingredients now to make it. Now seaweed soup is the food that I was telling you about earlier. It gives you a 20% maximum health boost, and as we now have the seaweed, I did make one specifically with the boss fight in mind. But there are others there that offer different buffs, so hopefully that will get better as the game progresses into the main game. When I go back here, here's the offering, this little blue thing. So you can see what we need for the ingredients: seaweed, deepling bones, those pottery pieces we found. So I'll start gathering the ingredients so I can make that. And some seaweed soup. So basically we haven't got enough deepling bones, and I think we might be short on those artifact stones as well at this point. So I decided to take the newly fixed boat out for the first time, and we run into a few problems getting the boat to actually work. There's a pole in the middle, at the top and the back, which drives your boat, and you start driving the boat, and all of a sudden, bang, lights, it's not working, and it's just going straight towards all these mobs over here. I was able to back it up, but after I backed it up, I wasn't actually able to do anything else. There was nothing to tell me what I'd done wrong or why I wasn't moving it. So for the rest of the demo, I don't use the boat. I did try and get back on it a few times thinking it might be bugged, but unfortunately I never really got it to move again past this point. It could have been that the boat was damaged or something like that and you had to repair it, but there was nothing signalling me to fix it, or that had happened, or that it needed a repair. So that's something in the game that needs to be looked at. There is a permanent treasure chest on board that I put some things in when you take the boat out. Obviously it's a great idea going around all the water with a great big boat that you can actually build on as well. But I ended up using my skimmer for the rest of the time because this whole part broke the boat. It's the first time I took it out. So I've just equipped some ironite arrows that I found in chests. I'm not able to make them at this point. And I decided that I'm going to go and try and get these mobs over here because we need some of these killing bones. And they are dropped, of course, by the lizard people, my arch nemesis. So we need those to complete the offering. And I think we might be short some of those ancient stone fragments as well. And we know the best place to get those is Ancient's Rest, which now takes no time at all to get to with the skimmer. I think the skimmer also gets benefits from unlocking the water spirit that we just got. And this is what we're actually missing here. and we're back in the Ancient's cave. There's a really good look at the Ancient that we're going to be fighting shortly. We also found this little button up here. It's something to do with the fight, but didn't do anything at the moment. There is a bugged mana stone on one of the islands for me. It's just sat up in the air and you can't pick it up. Similar to the crabs. Now we're back at base, and it dawns on me that we haven't got the healing bones, which is the most frustrating thing ever. I must have ran past so many mobs while I was doing that. Now we had stored some of our materials in here, our fragment and the seaweed, so we've got that. We just need the bones from the lizard men now. Now I got really unlucky with these guys because none of them were dropping the bones, and I got killed there again. And it got really frustrating because this was all I needed left to make the offering to take the boss. But the fact these guys were killing me here made me think, ugh, how are you going to take the boss? So back to it, trying to pick up more Keeling bones. We did actually kill him on the last shot. So there's our items. And I was just thinking, where am I going to get some more Keeling bones that's near? Just don't have to run off on a epic mission. And I realised there's a boss down here. I think I forgot to record it the first time I did this. He's not a boss really, he's a larger lizard man. And there was a dormant spirit down here that we collected, but I think it ended up happening off camera, so I didn't get it the first time. I'm running off because I'm out of arrows, which is really annoying because I think we still have some killing bones to get. So after I'd gone back home, got more arrows and everything, I came back again. Came back down to kill more of these mobs for the killing bones. It's feeling very repetitive this time. Hopefully you guys will pick up along the way the killing bones and won't leave it all to the end like I did. You need to pick them all up. You need 25 for this part, so it is quite a lot of them. But if you're picking them up as you go, and have that in mind, it won't be as difficult as this was, just to keep going back and repeating it. So I finally get all the killing bones I need, and then a great big fish comes at me. Just get back on the skimmer, run back home. So now we have everything we need to make the offering, and it's going to be time to get ready to prepare for this boss fight. So now we can make the offering. Let's wake up the boss. Brilliant. Now we've got to prepare to actually be able to take the boss. Also picked up enough stone to finish the looking pool. This allows you to actually go in and change your appearance, and when I was originally making this character I actually forgot to add her tattoos, so I did it at this point. I wanted to make the seaweed soup because that's the one that gives you the plus health during the boss fight. The seafood, oh no, it's the seafood stew, sorry, not the soup, the seaweed one. So it's the seafood stew that does it. And that's clam meat, salt, I believe. And I really wanted that before I went into the boss fight. Up some clams in the water so I can make the seafood stew. And lots of rocks, unfortunately. It's so dark I can't see what I'm picking up. Wanted to make loads of bandages and arrows. We needed loads of arrows. I mean, we still ended up not making enough arrows even though we made loads to go with. I wanted to make sure all my arguments were right. I didn't get on to making the higher ones because I had higher priorities of unlocking everything and not as much time. But there are some better ones there that you can make with better materials. I just went for the basic ones and tried to make sure I had the defense one. I think I had the rage one as well. So I was as protected as I could be before I did the boss fight. What I wanted to make was the ironite arrows, but unfortunately my forge was not ready. Well, it was ready, I just didn't have enough ironite to do as much as I wanted. Now, I started filming halfway through the fight because I totally forgot. I took the offering up and put it in that little dish. He woke up, and then I realised I hadn't started filming. So this is me attacking him. I'm using hardened shell arrows, which give you a +12 attack. It's not as good as the ironite ones, but it was all I had. I also had some spare stone arrows, but not many of me. My strategy was to run and fire at him, and I thought this was going to work, but as you can see, it's doing very little damage to him, so it's taken a long time, this boss fight. I also forgot to change my little helper, so they weren't attacking either. That's the one that actually heals you in the water, so that's something else you can do, which changes the one that helps you attack. I did have bandages and food on me, and I had taken one of the seafood stews at this point to give me extra mana. But one of my biggest regrets was not making extra food to keep my health up. Every so often he does collapse and allows you to get in a bit closer, which ultimately allows you to do a bit more damage. But this is what the whole game's been preparing you for, the whole demo, this particular fight. And to actually move on and learn anything else, you have to take this construct down. He also shoots these bolts up in the air of blue energy, and if you're anywhere near them, they will do you a lot of damage. Rolling behind the posts really seemed to help me with those. Now he's bent over, this is the time to get in and do quite a bit of damage, especially if you're using a bow. And at this point I thought everything was going really well and I was going to beat him. I've got like one bandage left and I'm seriously running out of arrows. I've got 10 arrows left at this point. I'm out of arrows and it's all gone from going quite well to going really badly now because I've got one bandage left as well. I think haven't got very much left. So my only option is to hit him with the flipping pickaxe, which is really slow, an absolute nightmare. Desperately trying to heal myself with my one bandage. Thinking, where have I left my harpoon, which would have done the job. Eating the last of the shellfish I've got. It really is getting desperate here. And he's got so little health left. Trying to get behind the boss so he can actually not hit me quite as quick, hoping that I've just got enough left. Literally nothing left, so I just decide to go in and go for it and try and hit him as much as quickly as I can from behind. And then he collapses and I was like, oh thank God for that. I mean, it couldn't have come much closer to the wire than that. So we're flashing red, we've beaten the boss, and that little button that's up on the rock is now glowing, and it's quite easy to miss once you've hit the boss and think, oh, done it, yay. So we can now open up the higher levels. Better arrows, some rope, better pickaxes, more furniture, gates, rugs, wonderful. Just give you a little preview of what you will be able to make there. Now I have definitely forgot to press the button at this point, which is flashing blue and just begging for you to go up there and actually press the button. And what that gave us was an elder spirit, a dormant elder spirit. So I'm guessing it's a stronger version of the spirits we've already collected. So that's the boss fight done, and I'm heading back home. In the time that I head back home, I decided to get the rest of the base finished because I wanted to show you guys the things that you could make on the base actually finished. So I've jumped forwards a bit now. I put the Elder Scroll in to cook, and I'm going to show you what I finished on the base. So the first harvester is done, and I linked it to one of the spirit totems, and that makes ironite ore for you, that little one. I really wish I'd done the harvesters earlier. Back over here, the second harvester makes the green strands for you, and I linked green ones to that. Brilliant. There's little tables and chairs I've been able to learn. The fences are great, and there's little gates, but again, the land's not flat, so it just sinks into the land, which makes it a bit pointless really. So that was one of the downsides. Bigger baskets are now available. Inside, not a lot has really changed. We've got a new bench, makes ironite ore. One of the problems with putting it outside was it needed a roof over it. So again, I couldn't make it, so it's very frustrating. Another thing that needs to be fixed is if it's something that needs to be inside, let people know before they put it down and start building it. So heading upstairs. Inside we've got a sofa, a rug, footstool, plush fox on the floor and a lamp in the top. And in this little tiny room that was stuck with the wall, I've put a bed, a better bed. We never got the boat working again at that point, so it just was stuck in the water there, which is a bit disappointing. Then if we head to our Elder Spirit, he's ready now, so we can collect him. He gives you some buffs and the gifts of the tide. I think that allows you to travel faster on the water, but it didn't seem to make a difference for me in the demo. If you place him over in your Elder Shrine, basically the end of the tutorial. You'll see to the quest to the left say enjoyed the rest of the tutorial. That's really, you can carry on levelling with mobs around, but that's really the story progress stopped at that point. I wasn't able to craft that better skimmer there. It didn't work, it didn't end up being any different, so I think that's all to come. To sum up, it's a great game. It's really, really lovely. It's colourful. I think it's got a lot of potential in what you're going to be able to build. You're going to be able to do much better. There are a few little bugs which is to be expected in early access. Hopefully they fix them. I think it's got a lot of potential. It's going to do really well. I'd wait for the main game to come out, have a little try on the demo, but don't hold its little bugs against it. It's a wonderful game. And hopefully there'll be many more maps other than just this one to play about on, or more content.